So my first question is, you said something so powerful in the intro of Girl Disrupted that went along the lines of love, loyalty, and liberation. How does that adage tie into Drunken Wordz and Sober Thoughts?
That's a great question. Love, loyalty, and liberation. Well, at the time, I think those are the things that I was, searching after, seeking. Like that was the place. It wasn't the prettiest time in my life. Because I've spoken very openly about struggling with depression during that album and anxiety and all that stuff. So love, loyalty, and liberation. I honestly, especially looking back on it now, and I hadn't even thought about the words since I let them come out of my mouth. So I actually appreciate you for saying that to me, because when I hear it now, it looks like, damn, those are all things that I've now found. I didn't necessarily have them then. And when I say that loosely. And when I say love, I have the love of God, I have the love of my family. But I think it was a type of love that I needed to have for myself, which I've now found. Loyalty is something that, I'll tell you what, this pandemic has definitely taught me to be very aware of my surroundings and the people in my space, and it's weeded out all the people that needed to go, and all the ones whose spirit I feel like connect with mine, vice versa. They are here, and it feels amazing. But and then love, loyalty, and liberation. I think at the time, I understood the importance of liberation. I understood what I was after. I don't think I quite had really even began to scratch the surface of it. I just knew that I wanted to feel free. I just knew I wanted to be liberated. I just knew I wanted to create with no bounds, with no fear of nobody else. I knew I wanted that, and I think I thought that I was scratching the surface, but and maybe I did scratch the surface a tiny bit, but fast forward to now, I realized that I know exactly what I was. It was like, damn, I was talking to my future self and saying, girl, I'm going to need you to have love, loyalty, and liberation in the future. But right now, you know what I mean? You're a little disrupted. You know what I mean? But now I'm in a space where, and I've said this before, I'm the happiest that I've ever been, and I give all honor and praise to God for that. He's literally reconstructed my entire way of thinking. I don't think the way that I used to think. You know what I mean? Like I haven't had a bad day in I don't know how long. And when I say that loosely. I don't mean that things don't come at me. It's just that I don't buy into them. And I don't mean to preach, but literally, the other day I was watching this sermon, and the pastor said something along the lines. He had read something, and he said, it ain't over till it's good. And that stuck with me, because I'm like, you know what, God, I've been trying to figure out why I don't believe in bad days. I just believe in there are things that in life and whatever that come at you that with all of the purpose of either stopping you, altering where you move, how you go, and to know that those things they're not real, and if it's not a good thing, and it's seeming like a bad thing that's giving you a headache for a moment, or you don't know how to figure out a problem, or whatever it is, if it's not a good thing, and those are bad things, or we consider bad things, then that just means I just need to figure out, God, how do I get around it? You know what I mean? Because if God says it's not over till it's good, then this thing that's in front of me that looks like a bad thing, okay, well, you're not the end all be all, because it's not over till it's good. So the truly wanted to create from. And with this project, Words Over Thoughts, I have lived in that space since I recorded the first song and told myself, you ain't got to do nothing but just do what you hear, do what you love, do what you like to listen to. Like pick the beat, like you live in that space and don't let any other outside influences, unless they're good ones and they're pure ones and they're ones that are going to lend to the betterment of this project. That's the space you live in, and that's been my 2-year journey since Drunken Wordz Over Thoughts. I mean, since from Girl Disrupted to Drunken Wordz Over Thoughts.
To the next one, since we got to wrap up.
Okay.
With what we know now, how did Chadwick Bozeman's life up until his death inspire you as a Black creative?
You know what it is? And this is the beautiful thing I think about Black people. You know how, like, you may not necessarily know somebody, you know, personally, but there's something in their spirit that you identify with, and you don't know where it comes from. You don't know what it is. You can't explain it, but you identify with it. And you can't even really, and for me tonight, I'm going to find the exact words for it eventually, but for the lack of a better word, it was something in his spirit that he carried around. And we've seen him accept awards, we've seen him on carpet, we've seen him do interviews, we followed him for so long, and if people pay attention, there's a lot. You might not know, you may not be able to learn everything there is about a creative through those different places, things that I just named, but they still tell you a lot about a person. You watched how he handled his interviews, how he treated people on red carpets. You know what I mean? And then that was just the surface. I mean, when it went to the roles that he chose, you know, we have, as artists, we have the opportunity to say yay or nay to whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the things that I say yes to, or we say yes because it serves a purpose within us. At least that's the way I like to operate. And if we say no to something, it's like something in our body says that that's not good for me, and we steer away from it. If you look at all the movies and all the projects that he's done, they all had a sense of integrity. They all spread the same the message of it's one word that will some. I gotta think about that too, but it's like his decisions, his choices, and what he chose to be a part of. It connected with the spirit that he carried around that was so great that we felt it through television.
Right.
So that's how he inspired me. The night that he passed, I was in hair. Was I hamming that night? I was doing something that night. And I was talking to one of my best friends, and I bawled like a baby over this man that I'm lying. I met him one time. I actually met him one time. Little story. I was me and Lil Rel Howery is one of my close friends, and we went to this random little spot in Hollywood called, I think it's the Red Room or Dragon Room, or it's like a little bar spot. It's really cool. And we were there, and Chadwick was there, and Rel was like, "Oh, that's Chad." I was like, "Yo, he's so fire." He's like, "Yo, he's so," I guess they knew each other, so we went up and spoke, and all I said was hello and shook his hand. They were friends. But even then, like, just cool brothers, good brothers, who left a whole, world of goodness that looks like us for us can I live up? Can I get a fraction of it? You know what I mean? Like, just steer me in the right direction so that my music and what I create is it's about integrity and purity and that whole type of thing. That's really important to me. So, but he definitely, to say he inspired me is an understatement.
Thank you so much.